emotions and notions to make space for the ideas of another. In times of turmoil,
just listen.
Listening is the only way forward. Thank you for listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580.
Listen.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
KBLA, Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. What's going on? I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my very first thing on this lovely day, giving thanks, giving praise, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders and getting it going. This is what we do. This is where you are. You're in a place where your input, your engagement, your thoughts, your ideas are welcomed, are valued, are cherished. All you have to do to put them on the table is call me 800-920-1580. I always used to say kitchen table conversation. That's how a really good show feels to me. It feels like you're at my house or I'm at your house. We got our, fresh squeezed juice, our coffee, whatever that is, and we are chopping it up, getting smarter, raising our level, our vibration. So that's how we do it, only we do it on the radio, 800-920-1580. You're welcome to call anytime. Hour 1, we typically look at the local. Hour 2, we usually go national. And Hour 3, we do a deep dive with the person of interest. Today is Election Day in Georgia. It's Election Day in Georgia. And so we'll be talking in Hour 2 with Dr. David Horn, political science professor who can put some of these issues of this day in perspective. Our deep dive today, Jeffrey Henson Scales. He's a photographer, a professor at NYU, and a New York Times photography editor. But he started out as a 14-year-old photographing the Black Panther Party extensively. He's got a lot to share and some amazing insights. So looking forward to that conversation for sure. I want to give you the heads up. My hip-hop friends and family tomorrow, Money B, will be with us. He'll even be in studio, so we'll be on the YouTube thing. Well, we're always on it now, every day, youtube.com, KBLA 1580, or just hit the KBLA TV button on the app, and you'll be right with us in studio. You can even see Miles back there doing his thing. But Miles Lowe, of course, holding it down. But Money B of Digital Underground will be joining me, so I'm looking forward to that. And he's got a special surprise for you, but more on that later. You know that Saturday's a big day, not just because KBLA is having a party and you're invited and it's all free and it's all in Leimert Park, right at Vernon and Leimert. I mean, literally right where the station is. Anyway, not just that. It's because we are inviting you to be a vendor, and it's not too late. I'd get on it, though, because I'm not sure what the deadlines look like. It's the Welcome Home Mayor-elect Karen Bass event right here in historic Leimert Park, Africatown, USA. It's Saturday, December 10th. The festivities go from 10 to 1. The streets are going to be blocked off street fair style. We'll have music. We will have some celebrities, as you saw, lawmakers, and, of course, the mayor-elect herself will be on stage at 11. Just email us, info@SmileyAudiomedia.com. That's info@SmileyAudiomedia.com. You'll get all the details you need to participate, we'd love to have you there at our Welcome Home Mayor-elect Karen Bass event this Saturday, December 10th, right here in Leimert Park. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. The teachers want to go on strike here. Well, I shouldn't say want to go on strike. That's not really a fair way of saying it. LA teachers want a raise. I'm sure they don't want to go on strike. I'm guessing the ideal outcome would be, okay, here's your 20% raise. It's meant to be spread out over 2 years. They want smaller class sizes. I feel like we have that every negotiation round with the teachers. They're always calling for smaller class sizes, which is something that does happen to benefit the children as well. And they want a reduction in standardized testing. They say they're stressed out. Students are still struggling to get back on track from the pandemic, which is absolutely the truth, as are adults. And they want to pump the brakes on all this testing. Honestly, even without the pandemic, I just think we're way over in the test too much homework territory, if you're talking about learning. But, it's an unpopular opinion. I guess a lot of parents, well, it's not unpopular with teachers, but a lot of parents just think that, the more homework, the more testing, the better education my child is getting. And I don't agree with that. You got to meet the standards, but I feel like, what is the point of them going to school all day long if they have to spend all night on homework? I just think homework is overdone. Our kids are stressed out. It's like they have 9 to 5 jobs that never, ever end. And the class sizes are too big. Our LA teachers are paid better than most teachers across the country, but prices in LA are crazy. They're saying they're stressed out. They're saying they're being priced out. And with a teacher shortage, I think you have to take a serious look at that. Because if I can't afford to live in a place, it doesn't matter how much I want to teach there. And if I've got to drive for hours to get to school by whatever time teachers have to get there, because, it's before the kids, 7 or whatever it is, then am I going to really last there? And will we be attracting the best and the most innovative teachers? It's UTLA. They did 3 rallies on Monday throughout the school system, just making the point. And there's more to come. We're taking your phone calls, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Now is a great time to call me. It's KBLA Talk 1580. We're unapologetically progressive.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Over 100 million people around the world have felt the thrill of Broadway's most spectacular musical, Disney's The Lion King. And now you can too. Experience this breathtaking theatrical event and see why the New York Times declares there is simply nothing else like it.
Give the gift that roars at the Pantages Theater, February 2nd through March 26th. Visit BroadwayInHollywood.com.
Leaving things half done? Not a good option. Like a half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
A half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides?
Or a half of a domino.
Bam! Big 6!
But where's the other half?
Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Keep everyone safer this season by staying up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Central Neighborhood Health Foundation is a full-service network of federally qualified health care centers that serves local communities throughout Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. CNHF clinics provide low-cost to no-cost, compassionate, comprehensive, quality health care, which includes primary care services for chronic disease and diabetes management, pediatric and women's services, preventive care, vision and dental screenings, COVID-19 testing and vaccines, flu vaccines, behavioral health, HIV, and substance use services. Virtual telehealth visits are available from the comfort of your home with highly qualified physicians and medical professionals. CNHF also provides peer support specialist training and help with housing navigation. Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. Your wellness is our our priority. Comprehensive care built on trust and respect. For more information, visit cnhfclinics.org or call 213-536-5815 today to locate a clinic near you.
Where do holiday happenings take over every aisle? Lowe's, actually. Experience the magic of Winterfest at Lowe's and save on gifts like a Craftsman 243-piece mechanics tool set valued at over $600 if purchased separately, now for only $99. Give the gift of tech this season with a Ring Video doorbell at an everyday low price of $99.99. Explore the festivities of Winterfest at Lowe's, home to any possibility. Offer valid through 12/7 while supplies last.
King C. Gillette is the modern man's answer to their facial hair. With a complete set of precision tools, the King C. Gillette line offers the perfect fit for your facial hairstyle. Want to try something great? Try the Style Master, the quintessential styling tool that every man needs to craft their style. It's a waterproof, cordless trimmer with a long-lasting 4-directional blade. It's extremely versatile and designed to edge, trim, and stubble in 4 directions on any hair length. Master your style with King C. Gillette.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, indeed, taking a look at what's going on around the West Coast. And, it's strike season. I mean, the academic workers in the UC system were up in Sacramento marching, and they showed out. I mean, that's what you want to see with a labor action, is for people to show out and show up. And even though we keep hearing about this supposed progress, there's no deal that's been made. So the workers will continue to march, continue to make their demands. The fact that they're being paid such low wages in this particular city, this particular county where everything is expensive, just makes it an urgent matter. And I don't blame them. You got to, you're going to have to go do what you got to do to make your job affordable, livable, and it's hopefully pleasurable. We want that too, if possible. So once again, it looks like the teachers are gearing up for some serious actions along with those UC workers who are out on strike. Keep hearing about this real ID, right? It's supposed to be this sort of federal ID that you get through the local Department of Motor Vehicles. It's through the Department of Homeland Security. It was supposed to be May 2023 that you had to have this thing by. Now it's May of 2025. They're saying because of the pandemic. But this is, I guess, the third time or something this has been pushed back. It's a super secure ID that they came up with after 9/11 that you're going to need to get on even domestic flights starting in 2025. It's the Real ID Act. I got mixed feelings about that. Just because, being in a Homeland Security database comes with all kinds of special treats. However, if you have a passport, you won't need it, at least not for now. I guess the passports have their own version of the Real ID, but that means you'll have to carry a passport to get on just a regular domestic flight starting in 2025. However, they keep pushing this thing back, so we'll see what happens with it. I'm sure it's going to be a hot mess. If you're worried about it or you want to participate, you probably should get in line to get it now, because it's going to get ugly. It's already ugly with the pandemic. You got the appointments for passports and IDs and driver's licenses are still backed up. Let's go to Carlos calling us from Carson. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, let's have a little bit of kitchen talk here. Some food for thought and expand our consciousness, but we should be worried about that Real ID. I think governments, our super states are more and more endeavoring to encroach on our rights and surveil us more. But beyond that, my main observation is, we keep talking about human rights and progress, but we've been at this game for 200 years and we still haven't reached human rights. And I said, well, why? And my observations are that perhaps our human rights movements are being derailed in a different direction, giving us the illusion that we're making progress, but in reality, they're not designed to ever have fruition and ever reach that culmination of full human rights. And I think the reason is, look at the leaders of a lot of organizations, Black, Latino organizations, women's rights. Most of them are white Marxists. You look at the NAACP, Rabbi Weiss, and the Warburg, the Schiff families were some of the pioneers of the movement, as well as Du Bois, of course. But these are white Marxists that were leading the movement.
Well, just because an organization had or continues to have white support with Black leadership, it doesn't mean that invalidates the work of that organization.
Well, when I connect these families, for instance, the Warburgs, who are they? I mean, the Schiffs. Who are they related to? They're really agents for the Rothschild banking family, wealthy banking families of England. And the Rothschilds were some of the initiators of the Illuminati, and the Illuminati, in their original agenda, came up with the idea, let's use the human rights movement as a trap. Let's make people believe that they're really endeavoring to reach their human rights, but what we're really going to use them is for total revolution that will debacle the systems of the world. That will give us a full takeover. And
it's funny that the
Illuminati.
It's funny that Illuminati, I don't know what to call it, conspiracy theories, or whether it's whatever you want to call it, the Illuminati narrative, let's call it that, seems to have changed. I've been doing talk radio for many years now, and before they used to be painted as these right-wing sort of co-conspirators that are controlling society. Now you're saying they're Marxists that are controlling society. But I had one historian on the show, not this show, a different show, many years ago, the show before last, Street Science. And one of the things he said is that, if in fact you have these groups, these, Skull and Bones and Illuminati groups, they're not controlling society because they are Illuminati. They're controlling society because they're rich. And they just happen to have this, little or big, private groups or customs or weird traditions. The thing that allows them to control society is not that. It's their vast wealth.
Well, yes, but all these groups, like you mentioned, Skull and Bones, they're all interrelated to the original Illuminati.
But my point is that's almost a distraction, because what's the thing that allows these folks to control, a lot of the political discourse and undermine human rights is not the fact that they do whatever they do. It's in their cult or, whatever you want to call that. It's their vast wealth. It's the fact of income inequality, and the power differential is mainly based on wealth.
Well, yes, and they have invaded all different sides. You find them on the progressive side, but you also find them on the conservative side. Trump is one of them. He works for the Illuminati.
But what's the point? I guess my question is, what's the point in obsessing over the Rothschilds when you can deal with, the billionaire cartels that are buying up the press, that are buying up elections or trying to do so, in some cases unsuccessfully. Whether they're in Skull and Bones or not doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, can we mobilize the people, to build power?
Yes, we can mobilize the people if we have the right leaders. Because you see, the Illuminati has invaded all different sections, including the Freemasons. And when you look at, for instance, Black rights and Latino rights, you look at Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, they're Freemasons.
But who cares? I don't know if they are or they're not. No, the reason I say who cares is because that doesn't have to do with, I don't know. I've had these conversations many times, Carlos. I'm not saying that you're not making any points, but what I'm saying is I think we get sidetracked into things that don't concretely impact what our day-to-day life looks like, what resources we have for our children, what you started out with, which is human rights. And of course, human rights has been undermined throughout time, right? Not just 200 years of this country or however many years it is now that we're with this country, but throughout human history, there's always been exploitative forces that would undermine human rights. So it's always a push back and a push and a pull. That doesn't mean we're not making progress. We've made tons of progress in this country alone, but is it undermined? Do we take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back? Often, yes, we do. But we don't give up because of that. We keep trying and we keep moving the ball. I mean, right now, today, our Supreme Court is considering basically legalizing discrimination. The excuse is, oh, well, I have this person bringing the suit has a right to not build a website for an LGBTQ plus wedding if they don't believe in what the website is saying.
Well,
the outcome of that is under freedom of speech, I have the right to discriminate against you, whether you're gay, Latine, whether you're African American, Asian. I mean, that's, we're just opening the door to freedom of speech gives me the right to discriminate. That's where we are right now. Right now, it's about organizing. Right now, it's about what happens in Georgia today, right? So I'm just not sure what obsessing about the Illuminati, how that helps us right now.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is that we will never reach full human rights. Never, because it's not intended to. They control the tempo. They control the rhythm. They control the final conclusion.
And by they, you mean the Illuminati.
The Illuminati, yes. And all these different groups, the Freemasons, the politicians on the left and right and center, whatever, most of them are controlled. Biden is controlled, so is Trump. They work. If you look at the money that the organizations they belong to, where the money comes from, it goes back to through various paths back to the Illuminati.
All right, Carlos. I've had, like I said, we've had these discussions on an ongoing basis, and I feel like, it reminds me of the conversations we used to have about AIDS and HIV, where it's like people were obsessed with the source instead of being obsessed with how do we overcome this crisis. I cannot subscribe to this idea that we will not reach human rights. That discouragement causes paralysis, and I intend to keep it moving. But I appreciate the conversation. Carlos, call me at 800-920-1580. You can too. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Health officials are encouraging Americans to wear masks to reduce the spread of respiratory illness. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said wearing a mask is one of several everyday precautions people can take to reduce their chances of catching or spreading a respiratory virus during the winter. She also encouraged everyone to get their flu shot and COVID-19 vaccine booster. Now this, Nike is officially cutting ties with Brooklyn Nets star African-American Kyrie Irving. Nike announced Irving is no longer under contract with them. The footwear giant suspended its contract with Irving last month after he tweeted a link to an anti-Semitic movie and failed to respond quickly to calls for an apology. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Dell's Days of Deals start now with savings on select XPS laptops and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors, plus savings on accessories and free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Kawhi Leonard knocked down a jumper with 1.4 seconds left in the game to give the Clippers a 2-point win at Charlotte. The 5-time All-Star appeared in his first game since November 21st. Leonard finished with 16 points. The Lakers go for their 4th straight win tonight at Cleveland. USC's Khalid Williams is one of 4 quarterbacks named a finalist for this year's Heisman Trophy Award. The other 3, Ohio State's C.J. Stroud, Georgia's Stetson Bennett, and Max Dugan of Texas Christian. Rams Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is done for the season. In addition to his concussion symptoms, he was diagnosed with a spinal bruise. The Rams are 3-9 and headed for a last-place finish in the NFC West. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation.
Call on me, your MVP.
Health is Wealth and Medicare and Covered California's open enrollment for medical insurance is here. RHJ Insurance Agency can help you find affordable rates and the plan that's just right for you and your family. Call 562-204-6120 for your free quote. Don't leave your health to chance. Open enrollment is here and affordable coverage is just a phone call away. Call 562-204-6120 for your free quote and get the coverage you need. Go to www.rhjins.com.
Did you know it pays to drive electric? With government rebates, you'll save thousands on the purchase of a new or used EV. And the more you drive, the more you'll save, both on fuel and maintenance far into the future. Start seeing savings today. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare for being KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week. Enter your business today in the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com for the Office of the Week. Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Always glad to be here with you on a Talking Point Tuesday. I call it that because I think it's so important for us to remind ourselves where these ideas come from, that we sometimes repeat over and over again, where they come from, and make sure they serve our agenda. Make sure they serve our best interests, because I think a lot of times when you take in a huge amount of media, which most of us do these days, things leak in and seep in, and you don't always know where they're coming from. Example, folks talk about our progressive district attorney and say that, oh, well, you know, there's a revolt inside the office of the LADA. The latest is his former chief of staff suing him for retaliation. She says she was bumped from her post and that she was replaced by someone inexperienced. But so people say, oh, there's a revolt inside the district attorney's office. No, that's not the truth. These folks who are suing and complaining and leaking things to the media are people that never supported a progressive district attorney. They're workers inside the DA's office, deputy district attorneys, prosecutors, who have been doing things a certain way their whole life, and for the most part, they want to keep doing them that way. Now, it's true that the district attorney has made some course corrections, and in terms of being more flexible on some of those policies, But for the most part, that talking point is wrong because these are people who campaigned against the current DA, who are against the progressive prosecutorial agenda, and who supported a recall election. So to say there's been a revolt inside the DA's office is incorrect. What it is the people who never supported his policies ever, from before he was elected to now, still continuing with the position that they've always had, which is that they don't support his policies. That's not a revolt. That's a condition of the rules of the DA's office. They don't get to, when you become, say you're elected president of the United States, you get to bring in your own administration. And while it's true that some career government workers keep their jobs from administration to administration, for the most part, they bring in all their own people. They're expected to do so. Not so in the DA's office. So even if you were voted in to enact a progressive agenda, you still have to work with the folks that were already there. And you can put your own people in to an extent, but the bulk of the people there are going to be the people that have always been there. And that's what we're dealing with. That is different than a revolt. So Victoria Adams is the woman's name, and she's an assistant DA. She has worked for the district attorney's office for 35 years, which makes my point, right? She's been doing things the way she's been doing things since day one. That's not a revolt. She never wanted the change. And she says he demoted her after she questioned a number of his policies and decisions, which to me, okay, but I guess that's meriting a lawsuit here. And including, the Hannah Tubbs case, which was a big problem for that DA, the DA's office. She says the other folks are inexperienced, yada, yada, yada. But the key here is, 35 years in the DA's office, and the fact that she said that apparently she told DA Gascon that a lot of the policies he put into place on his first day in office were illegal. That's not what the courts have said. So therefore, we can see what was going on here. I'm going to be your chief of staff, but I don't support any of your agenda. Talking Point Tuesday. Read between the lines before you repeat that. Man, we talked a little bit yesterday about how the LA City Council has voted to ban oil wells, new oil wells inside the city, which makes sense. They're cancer-causing chemicals that are being emitted. They're eyesores. And supposedly we're moving off of fossil fuels anyway. Here's a talking point from the oil companies. This will drive up your costs and increase your dependence on foreign oil. Okay. Well, they've got 20 years to ramp down those existing oil fields. And in 20 years, we better be moving away from the dependence we have now on oil of any kind, on fossil fuels at all. And so, therefore, I call moot talking point. That's part of what we have to do to get rid of our dependence on fossil fuels and greenhouse gas emitting substances is commit to doing it. And commitment means moving away from it in many different ways. Flu activity is supposed to be really, 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 really bad in California. LA Times printed this chart, those charts with the color coding for different levels of flu activity. And apparently California, Texas, Texas are really, really, really bad. And I'm not surprised because as much as everyone was pretty good about wearing masks and staying apart, folks are outside now and they're not wearing their masks, and we congregate. That's what we do. There's a lot of folks in California. We congregate. So it's not just COVID. I was talking to a friend. I understand that it's not the same as it was with COVID because now there's so many medicines. They know how to treat it better. A lot of people are vaxxed, so the likelihood of you dying from getting COVID is much smaller. And it appears like it's going to be around for the rest of our lives, sadly. So now it's a matter of managing, your exposure, because we are back in a spike in COVID. But to me, this flu situation is not good either. Not to be doom and gloom, but just a reminder that there are things aside from masks and staying away from other humans that we can do to be well. Exercise. I know I sound like your mama, not your mama, but exercise, drinking your water, and getting rest are the three basics. What Dick Gregory used to say, the three leading causes of death in the United States: lack of exercise, lack of sleep, and dehydration. So we can start with the basics, and those are free. You don't have to join a fancy CrossFit program. You can walk around the block a few times. It has the added benefit of it'll keep you walking, keep you ambulatory longer in life, right? Just 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. We are still coming out of our pandemic mindset. It's impacting you whether you know it or not. So walking around the block helps that, as does drinking water. Drinking water, hydrating your body, keeps your tissue, your mucous membranes supple. When they're cracked, when they're dry, they're more likely to crack. Then those germs can go right in and make you sick, whether they're flu germs, RSV germs, or COVID germs. So those are things you can do that don't have anything to do with going to a hospital or a doctor. And, of course, getting some rest. Dr. Bill Relaford would say eat 5 colors. That would be good, too. Of course, lots of vegetables and fruits. Yeah. Taking your zinc, taking your vitamin D, your vitamin C. That's all good if you could do it. A multiple vitamin, some immune boosters like andrographis or echinacea or astragalus. All of those are good. Some turmeric, keep your inflammation down. But the most simple, basic things, especially during the holiday season when we're overeating and stressing a wee bit, drink your water, get some rest, and take a walk. It's really, that's my solution to all these charts and maps that say everybody's getting sick. And then wash your hands. I mean, if we weren't doing it before, COVID should have taught us that. Apparently, if you touch something and then touch your face, especially your nose, mouth, or eyes, where things go in, that's how you get sick. That's how you get the flu. And those germs can live on, when it's flu, those germs can live on doorknobs, shopping carts, chair handles for a long time. So washing hands and teaching oneself not to touch one's face. And if you are going to touch your face, wash your hands first, touch your face, then wash them again. I know, that's a lot. But hey, better than being sick home in bed. We're talking about the hit and run on the mayor-elect's daughter. Now we have an elder in Watts dealing with the same thing. And this is what I was talking about. This is, we'll get into that and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Happy Kwanzaa from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
3 Bay Area counties have black women chief prosecutors. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Civil rights attorney Pamela Price made history when she was elected Alameda County's first African-American district attorney. Price joins 2 other black women, Contra Costa County DA Diana Becton and San Francisco DA Brooke Jenkins, holding the same office in their Bay Area counties. Price is the 5th black woman to be elected district attorney in California. Former DAs on the list are Vice President Kamala Harris, who was San Francisco's DA from 2004 to 2010, and Jackie Lacey, who was Los Angeles County's DA for 2 terms from 2012 to 2020. KBLA listeners, what are your thoughts on these offices being held by black women? Let us know on all social media platforms at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
This This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Three-time WNBA champions, the Los Angeles Sparks, jump into their 27th season this summer with the most games ever in league history. Every seat in crypto is an incredible ticket into an experience of world-class professional basketball, jam-packed with in-game entertainment. Now is the time to get ahead of the holidays. Don't be the person grabbing a gas station gift card. Impress your fam and friends with an unforgettable experience. Secure your seats now at lasparks.com/tickets.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
At Cedars-Sinai, we're honored to be named the #1 hospital in California and the #2 hospital in the nation in U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals Honor Roll. We're also proud to be named #1 in 6 specialties in Los Angeles. Thank you to our physicians, nurses, academic leaders, and thousands of other team members who bring their best to Cedars-Sinai every day. Learn more about our top-ranked care at cedars-sinai.org.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, I've been saying for years that Los Angeles, California, even more than San Francisco, or I don't know, because I haven't spent a lot of time in San Diego, but I'm thinking San Diego, definitely Los Angeles, is not really the city. I know we think of ourselves as a big city. We got millions of people. We're bigger than some countries in terms of people. But when it comes to the way life is, it is really country. And to me, all these stories about coyotes now, I mean, it's a new reality of life. One of the things about the humans that has made us survive so far is adaptability. Now we're in an age when coyotes just walk down the street in the middle of broad daylight. They're all in the city. This story about the coyote who attacked a toddler on their own front lawn in the middle of the day is, to me, it's a warning sign. This coyote, while this little toddler's dad was trying to do something in front of the home, he's locking up the SUV. The coyote attacks the kid, knocks the kid down, grabs her by the leg, and tries to drag her away. She's screaming. The dad's grabs the kid away from the coyote and chases the coyote away by throwing a water bottle. But these animals are getting more and more bold. This is similar story out of San Francisco about these giant turkeys. I guess someone's been feeding them. DoorDash. Yeah, DoorDash. And now they're huge, and they're chasing and biting mail carriers. And they're wily enough to outsmart the animal control people that come. It's funny if it wasn't scary. I mean, this happened with a toddler. This happened at 3:45 in the afternoon. The other day I was driving down Angeles Vista, and it was like the middle of the day. I think it was like 1 or 2 o'clock, and a coyote just do walking down the street. There are some things, in this city that have changed from 3 years ago, from 5 years ago. Even 5 years ago, you didn't see these wild animals everywhere. We always had raccoons, but you didn't see the coyotes the way they are now. And you see the big cats, the mountain lions venturing out more. This is part of our... Now we have mosquitoes. We never had mosquitoes. The climate emergency is changing everything. And I think the pandemic too, I know that I don't want to gross you out first thing in the morning, but I know the pandemic created a surge in rats into the city because they weren't getting food from their usual sources, because people weren't going out to restaurants and leaving food scraps everywhere. I mean, All of these things have consequences. And I just bring it up because we have to make the adjustments. When I go out of my house to come here and talk to you in the morning, I'm checking for coyotes now. It used to be just be coons. Now I'm checking for coyotes. I know I'm bigger than a toddler, but coyotes don't care about you flapping your hands and yelling at them. They'll flap their hands right back. They don't they do not give a crap about you unless you have a big stick. I guess one of those mail carriers had a big stick. Thwap that giant turkey and the turkey died. I'm not sure if they cooked it or not. I know the animal lovers are mad at me. But you know what? I believe we're all on the food chain. Get mad if you want to. You know, you eat that chicken, but if the chicken could eat you, it would do the same. Trust and believe. I keep saying I'm going to start an organization called People for the Ethical Treatment of People. People are still my priority. Hey, push back if you want to. 800-920-1580. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for human rights. The Los Angeles Civil, Human Rights and Equity Department, or LA Civil Rights for short, is focused on reducing bias and injustices while leveling the playing field. LA Civil Rights does this through equity and empowerment, the Office of Racial Equity, hate prevention, upward mobility programming, and youth programming. They convene commissions and advisory councils. The Civil, Human Rights and Equity Department of the City of Los Angeles is led by founding executive director Capri Maddox and is breaking new ground for municipal governance. LA Civil Rights oversees citywide initiatives, including the Renew program, LA Repair program, and the LA for All campaign. The LA Civil Rights Department believes that the goals of equity and inclusion for all people can be achieved through hard work and collective action. To get involved and be part of the solution, report a civil rights violation, or get more information, visit civilandhumanrights.lacity.org. That's civilandhumanrights.lacity.org or call 213-978-1845. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you a happy holiday and wants to bless you with one night only. A Wonder Winter's Night presented by Stevie Wonder's House Full of Toys benefit concert. Saturday, December 17th at Microsoft Theater. Download the KBLA Talk 1580.com mobile app to enter to win a pair of tickets. This has been a community call to action brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, putting the spotlight on culture and community. The Rodney King Foundation works in the community to promote positive race relations and achieve social justice. The foundation provides advocacy, educational scholarships, and the powerful Walk in Love initiative. The Rodney King Foundation seeks a world of hope, tolerance, and social justice, where divisiveness has been overcome and all people live together peacefully and harmoniously. Executive Director, Founder Laura King is striving to enhance the community's self-esteem, health, social services, and social justice locally and worldwide. The foundation is dedicated to continuing the message of Laura's father, the great Rodney King, to promote peace and #Get Along. For more information, please visit rodneyking.org or call 626-541-2907. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Yes, indeed it does every single day, and you're part of that. You're welcome to call all the time, 800-920-1580. So much to unpack here. By the way, there have been 7 coyote attacks on people this year alone, and they're coming for your pets. So if you're one of those folks that leaves their dog or cat outside tied up at night, you might want to rethink that. Well, I don't think people tie up their cats, but you know what I'm saying. Tie up your dog at night. You might want to rethink that strategy. Apparently, there's a video of a man with an assault rifle going into the Rialto police station on Monday. They're saying this is why an officer opened fire. This is at Willow and Rialto streets in avenues in Rialto. And the video seems to show the man going through the gates of the police station following this officer. The officer gets out of the patrol vehicle, opens fire, and the guy fell down but survived. We don't know his condition right now. I'm sure this is a developing story. I'm sure we'll be hearing much more about that. I always want to hear the full story with stories like this and see what has been left out or what else needs to be covered. An 89-year-old woman was a victim of a hit and run in Watts, and then they're still looking for the driver. She did not survive that. This was toward the end of last week at 109th and Central on Thursday, and it was captured on surveillance cameras. Really terrible. Her name is Marie Alexander. It was a dark-colored Chevy. People are looking for that car. And see, this is what I was saying when we talked about Mayor-elect Karen Bass's daughter being hit and not seriously injured. For years, we've been covering these hit-and-run incidents where it seems to be more prevalent in Black and Latinx areas of the city. The family of this woman's really asking, Marie Alexander's family, asking for your help because they said, she was loved, she was loving, and they want to know who did this to her. They say there's problems with the street lighting there, and that's what the local business owners say. But that said, folks speed around here like they were on freeways when they're on city streets, and I get that you're in a hurry, but there's human beings walking around out there. And I feel like since the pandemic, is it just me? I feel like their driving has gotten worse. It's like we're channeling our anger and aggression into our driving, and that's not a good thing. Bob McGrath, the star of Sesame Street for like almost 50 years, passed away at the age of 90. He was the always sort of friendly guy in the sweater. I don't know if you guys watched Sesame Street. I did. He was there when I was allowed to have TV, which wasn't very often. I did watch Sesame Street. Hey, Dr. David Horn, political scientist, is joining us in hour 2, and you can call as well as we take a look at what's happening Election Day in Georgia. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black